Welcome to Because Bad Guys. In this video I'm going to be going over the Night Models Batman Miniatures game character card makeup. For the first part of reviewing this card, let's go over the name and alias. So the name and alias is going to be the uniqueness of who this person is. In this game, you cannot duplicate anyone with the same name or the same alias. So, for example, this character is named Bruce Wayne, and his alias is Batman. So you cannot include another person in your crew named Bruce Wayne or have the alias of Batman. The next section to go over is rank. Rank is going to be the different ways characters fulfill roles in their crews. To represent the different roles, there are 4 different types of ranks. There are leaders, sidekicks, free agents, and henchmen. Each of those will determine who those people are, how they do things in the crews, and for instance, this character, Batman, is a leader. Next is affiliate. Affiliate is the type of crew that the character can be taken in, whether that's a bad guy crew or a hero crew. For instance, this character, being Bruce Wayne Batman, can be taken in a Batman crew. The next section will be weapons. This section is going to be any of the weapons that this character has on them and is able to use during the game. For example, Batman has batlings, which have a damage, rate of fire, ammo, and special rules according to their weapons profile. Next is going to be personal and special traits. This is going to be any special rules or equipment that the character has and is able to use during a game. Next is reputation. Reputation is the amount of points a character costs to put into a crew. Next to reputation is funding. Funding is another point system used in the Batman Miniatures game to regulate powerful weapons and equipment. Next, we go to the top right corner of the card, which is labeled willpower. Willpower is the amount of counters you get during a turn to be able to activate. So essentially, the Batman Miniatures game is a resource management game where you have to decide what your character is doing during your turn. At the beginning of every game turn, you will get action counters equal to your willpower. These action counters you can place in movement, attack, defense, or special. So for example, Batman, being willpower 8, will get 8 action counters that he can place in any of those 4 stats, up to a maximum of the value of the stat. Next is the strength stat. This is the roll that you need to be able to damage enemy characters. So for example, Batman, being strength 3, on a single dice roll, he needs a 3 or greater to do damage to an enemy character. Next is the movement stat. This stat represents how quickly a model can move. Action counters from the willpower can be placed in movement up to its value. For example, Batman can place up to 2 of his willpower tokens in the movement stat. They then become movement counters. The next stat is the attack stat. This represents how well a character can attack another character and how well refined and trained they are in combat. If a character tries to block someone's attack, they need to roll on a dice higher than the attack stat. So for example, if someone is trying to block Batman with his attack value of 5, they would need to roll a 5 or a 6 on a dice. The attack stat also represents how many times a character can attack during their turn. So for example, Batman, having willpower 8, can put up to 5 action counters in his attack stat, making it so he can attack 5 times in a single turn. The next stat is the defense stat. This stat represents how hard a character is to hit. For example, if a character tries to attack Batman, they would need to roll a dice of 4 or higher to be able to hit him. The defense stat also signifies how well a character can block. So for example, with Batman being willpower 8, he can put up to 4 of his willpower tokens into defense to try to block incoming attacks. The next stat is the endurance stat. This is how many hits or how much damage a character can take before they become knocked out or become a casualty. There are 2 different types of damage in the Batman Miniatures game. The first being stun or star damage, which will contribute to a character becoming knocked out or KO'd. The second is blood damage or a red teardrop. This damage will result in the character becoming a casualty and being removed from the game. Blood damage will also always replace stun damage if the endurance stat has reached its maximum. The endurance stat is also used for a character to be able to wake up from being knocked out. The way that you do this is at the end of the round, if your character is knocked out, you roll 2 dice and you need to roll equal to or under your endurance stat. So for example, Batman, being endurance 8, if he is knocked out, would need to roll 8 or less on 2 dice to be able to wake up. The last stat is the special stat. This stat is 3 across the board in the entire game. Every character can place up to 3 counters in their special stat to be able to do special abilities, which will be in their personal traits or special traits. And that's it. I really look forward to doing tactical videos and battle reports for this game. It'll be a blast. And remember, 'cause bad guys.